Hi, welcome to the Spirit Lounge. Hope you guys are well. I haven't been online for a little while, a little hiatus from my videos, but I thought I'd start it again. I know I've promised to the Nagamadi ones, and it's taken a little while to pull together even the first video for that. So I will do shortly. It's an interesting book. My interpretation would be interesting, so let's see what you think about those. Today I want to discuss mind. And this sort of came to me a week ago to sort of talk about mind. And the question that came to me was, we all think about mind, and sometimes we look at other members of humanity around us, and we sometimes would say, oh, that person's very clever, or that person's very intelligent, or that person, to our own perception, may not be in the hyper-intelligent category of high IQs and so forth. But what, other than the physical manifestation of what we call intellect or intelligence being the accumulation of knowledge, right? The accumulation of facts, the accumulation of sciences or mathematics or physics or whatever it is you're interested in accumulating knowledge of, be that general or whatever that might be, is intelligence. The intellect is the ability to actually use the knowledge that you have, or intelligence that you have, the cumulative wealth of what you know. The intellect is how you're able to use that pragmatically, through agility, adapt it to different situations, think laterally or abstract thought or in linear thought. But how do we get to this point? Why are others perceived to be more intelligent than you or I? Is it because, well, that's just how it is? Is it because they're just intelligent because they're born that way and I'm not because I was born, well, I don't know as much as them and they come across cleverer than me, so I must listen to them? Well, it's a choice. Actually, if we take away all of the scientific reasons why people are clever, have higher IQs and so forth in the life that we live today, the reason why intelligence developed in ourselves is because of choice. It's free will choice. The grey matter between our ears and the functioning grey matter between our ears, the faculties of mind, of thought, of intelligence, of intellect, is the same for everyone. We are born with the same physical brain and the same material capabilities of it. To make ourselves intelligent and to develop intellect is a free will choice if we choose to use our minds for greater aspects of thought or abstraction, expansion, particularly beyond the reflection, our image in the mirror, is a choice. And to do that, it implicitly implies that we will use and facilitate the capacities of our mind so we can engage in something greater than what we currently think about. And by doing so, we activate other areas of the brain or interactions and synapses in our brain, and we start utilizing it further. It's like a muscle, isn't it? And it will grow. It will open other expansions of our thought processes, the way we think, what we think about, open up the doorways for us, and as such we develop a greater use of mind. Through the greater use of mind, we develop more intelligence because we research other things. We read, we listen, we look, watch, smell, touch. Other things other than just the material self in front of the mirror. In other words, removing the myopia of our lives. We shrink them down to the smallest fraction of perception to something bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, larger and wider. Expansion, whatever that might be, might be just purely intellectual, but it may be beyond intellectual. But either choice we make, we're going to use and engage the mind to help process what it is that we're expanding into. Now, why am I talking about this? Well, it's because intelligence, or the use of faculties of mind, are developed through incarnational lifetimes. The reason why someone else around us may be using mind, or perceived to be cleverer, or perceived to or have a higher IQ, and may be clever throughout that, may know more, may in professions of where intelligence is needed, or have PhDs or masters, symbols of intelligence within our material world. The reason for that is because they've done this before in previous lives. They've developed and chosen to go down certain directions of thought in previous incarnational lifetimes. And they bring that forward through tendencies and characteristics through the Akasha, remember the tea bag I talked about. You develop through expansion, either through in the physical, from the physical and blend it into the non-physical. We start to use our minds more through lifetime after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. We expand. The mind is a tool. It's not the master. It's a tool. It's meant to be a tool. For many, many, many overwhelming lifetimes, it will probably be the master for many, the overwhelming majority, until we understand that it needs to be the tool, the processing engine for what's received through it, through the spirit and the heart, and the mind being the third and the body being the fourth. And so when we look at ourselves and perceive ourselves as clever or not, just remember, you're not lesser than anyone else who has a PhD or a master's. You're not less intelligent than anyone who has a PhD or a master's, or wears a white coat, works in a hospital, or is a nuclear physicist or a scientist or a teacher or anything else in between. The only difference is, if you think about it over lifetimes and the choices that you make in this lifetime, is have you chosen to use your mind for greater things, or is it really just used to keep you alive? Survival instincts, survival thought processes, myopic vision, identifying with only the reflection in the mirror, perceiving ego, or just deciding to look and focus one's life on very small and myopic things of little consequence. And if we do so, then we're not going to be using the facilities of mind or expanding our ability to use it. By using it, we expand our intelligence, and by therefore, through intelligence, the accumulation of knowledge, understanding and awareness that's sent to it, we start developing intellect to use that knowledge. And through the Trinity of the spirit, the heart and the mind, through the body, we start to develop wisdom over time. Now, why is this also important? Because spiritual expansion, moving towards grace, which I'll repeat many, many times in my videos. The meaning of life is one simple thing. Everything else around it is meant to support that. Whatever you choose as the physical life you choose to have, the experiences, whatever it is, needs to be underpinned and driven by the central pillar of the meaning of life, and that is to move your frequency towards grace. In other words, at some point in life you realize there is a greater I. There is an all that is, all that we are. There is an I am that we are part of. And we are here because we are not emitting the frequency of grace in our actions, words, thoughts and intentions through life, to therefore live through the grace of being of the infinite I that we are all part of. It sits within here, and we need to release that. That is the purpose of all existence, all incarnational life. Whatever it is we choose to be in the material realm, the ultimate movement we should express out of that is this single one. And we'll recursively keep coming in and out of this experience called the universal theatre until we have achieved what it is we come here to achieve, which is that ultimate objective. Now, to do so, it means we have to change how we think. We have to decide to expand beyond ourselves. We have to look beyond the myopia of the image we see in the mirror and identifying with it, and start to identify beyond it, to the abstract, non-linear, expansive expression of who we are. Even meditative thought will stimulate greater intelligence in the mind because you're expressing outward. And by doing so, not just intellectually through the physical material realm, through in an intellectual pursuit or profession, but the expansion from within will itself push the I, the spirit, up, and it will move us into wider spectrums of expansion, which will force us to engage the mind to help interpret what it is that we are receiving, what we are feeling, what we are perceiving. Therefore, a larger expansion of mind, and through that we may go into other areas of material research, reading, sciences, books, religions, theology, philosophy, sociology, esoteric metaphysical spaces, moving our intelligence outward. And through lifetime to lifetime, we will take that movement forward and build upon it. That is the nature of why some are, in the lifetime we live now, not moving or perceived to be less intellectual, less intelligent. It's not because they cannot, not because they cannot, not because they don't have the ability. Because the free will choice to pursue something has not been taken to engage the mind and the capacity that it was given to us. And the main message here is, don't think you're lesser than anyone else in any way, shape or form, because the capacities that we perceive others to have greater wealth in, you also have. Just make the choice to use that grey matter for other things other than superficial means, perceptions in the mirror, the myopic identity that we look at in our reflections, our ego and narcissisms and self-deluded pedestals of intellectualism. We don't have to be an intellectual, you don't have to be a PhD or go into medicine or law or science or anything else. Merely, if these things are not interesting, merely attempt to go within and allow the spirit to emerge, because that will push the intelligence and the aspects of mind to grow, because it's the processing engine to help us move forward in those expansive places that we seek as we move our lives towards the frequency of grace, the divine, the Godhead, whatever it is you wish to call it. So mind is for us to use, and intelligence is for yours to have. It is not a gift and a blessing for others to be better than you. Not at all. It's just that they have chosen in various ways to use that grey matter in other lifetimes where others may not have. But we're all the same. We all come here in the same bodies, in the same physical suits, enter the same physical suits, as it were. We don't come here in them. So it's up to us to make the choice to have to use that or not. And we're all different spaces. They're all different rungs of this ladder, metaphorical ladder. We're not all here to be the same. We're here because we are all different, but we are also here because we have not achieved that enlightenment that we all read about so much and chase so intellectually. Enlightenment is already here. It's already within, we just haven't not allowed it to release from within. And actually, ironically, that's also because the ego of the intellectual mind can block that too. So something to think about. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will come back with those Nagamadi short videos soon at some point, but thank you for listening. Love to you all, and have a great rest of your day, the next day, depending on when you're watching this. And thank you for subscribing and liking. And if you know anyone else who would like listening to these videos, please pass them on. Thank you so much, and God bless.